So I'm working with multiple decks today. Oh, if you'd like to know the music playlist, it's called Feel Good. It's on my Spotify. The link is in my profile, along with links to book with me, my IG, my email if you want to reach out. And I usually put some playlists in there. So I've been shuffling the Cosmic Tarot, which I typically do my pre-reads. Excuse me, my collective reads. We have some interesting energy. I do try to call out every single card so you don't miss a thing. And I also do intuitive psychic reads on oracle cards with descriptive audio. So I've got a few different oracle decks here as well that I can work with. But I'll announce them as I use them, if I remember. So what I have out here so far, pulled 11 cards it seems. I'm just doing an intuitive read, not any particular spreads. And before we get in this, I'm going to ring my little chime, which I just purchased for these wonderful collective readings. One more time. Everybody please take a deep breath and try to keep an open mind and open heart, whatever comes out. One more ding. All right, I think we're good to go. I'm not sure which frequency that is, but it has a really nice higher tone. So the 11 cards, let's really dive in here now. Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Six of Cups, the Moon in reverse, I read reversals, 4 Cups, Knight of Swords in reverse, 6 of Wands, 8 of Swords in reverse, the Sun in reverse, 5 of Wands, and the Princess of Swords in reverse. One moment, please. It's a big offer from Spirit, or being given to you, or you want to give to somebody else. Something having to do with material, because it's Pentacles. It's Earth. Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. It's a card of Leo. It's kind of like the Knight of Wands. Again, I'm not speaking on people when I speak on energies. I also don't tend to drop into karmic energies. So if you're looking for drama or love-specific readings, I'm probably not your reader. And that's okay. You know, I welcome everybody else who's here's along for the quest. Because I tend to do tarot quests. And I do make clips of all my longer form videos. So those of you that don't want to sit through an entire hangout, essentially, can receive side messages from them. So keep an eye out for those. If you subscribe, if you do, thank you. And again, thank you to everyone else who is a part of the community. All right, collective. We've got Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior, next to this big offer. And with the Six of Cups, it's somebody who is most likely a soulmate, some kind of emotional connection, possibly from your childhood or your past. I think that's a dove that's in the background over the Six of Cups. Moon in reverse. So this is about, I'm going to read it as going to release some secrets instead of reading it as not going inward. I feel like you have gone inward because the moon is about listening to your intuition. In reverse, it can mean not listening to your intuition, but I feel like it's kind of like you did what you needed to do, I feel like. So 4 of Cups over here, it's usually somebody who's not paying attention to their blessings, kind of bored, kind of blah, apathetic. And in the original depiction of this card, there is a phantom hand sticking out with a cup, and the person is not paying attention to it, and there are 3 cups in front of them. Now remember, 4s are foundation, they are stability. So I usually look at this card in a way of like emotional stability. So tapping into your intuition, you have achieved this, but you're kind of in this, I'm going to say almost stalemate, because we got the 9 of Swords over here. It's like feeling under attack, but it's in reverse. So it looks like you've come out of attack mode. And you may be the wounded warrior over here with the 9 of Wands, but you have something to offer. Because below the 9 of Wands is the 6 of Wands. 6-9-9-6, Cancer. Yin Yang, polar opposites, black white, the masculine and the feminine. Again, gender nondescript, just reading the cards here. 6 of Wands is all about success. So you are a very successful wounded warrior. So that's something to be proud of. And you got out of your head with the 8 of Swords in reverse here. And that's underneath the 6 of Cups. So you got out of your head about some kind of soulmate connection. However, whatever you discovered when you went inward with the moon in reverse, something did not make you happy. Or just was not a pleasant experience, because the sun in reverse is the opposite of happiness. It's the opposite of feeling vital and joyful and invigorated and passionate and like aware of the self. So it may have kind of fragmented your experience, which could be why you're kind of in this apathetic state with the 4 of Cups, because below that, though, is the 5 of Wands, which is competition, which is fighting, which is conflict. Maybe you're just not interested in competing. However, you do want to say something. You want to come out of the shadows, so to speak, with the Princess of Swords in reverse, which is the Page of Swords. And usually the Page of Swords upright is somebody investigating, somebody learning, somebody studying, somebody watching but not talking. So it seems like you're no longer going to be a silent observer on what has caused you great suffering with the 9 of Swords in reverse. I'm going to pull a couple more cards. I also pulled the Archetypes Oracle from the Wild Unknown, Kim Cran's deck, so apologize if the shuffling's loud. Just turn down your volume or take off headphones if you don't like it. Adapt as necessary, yeah? Cool. Yeah, so I feel kind of called to pull an oracle from Crayons, but I want to get a couple more cards here. Huh. 3 of Pentacles in reverse and the Princess of Cups. And the Tower in reverse. Interesting. So you have had a major Tower moment, which makes sense with the 9 of Swords in reverse coming out of that conflict. But you're not ready to build something or collaborate with something or somebody. Could be a friend or a new love interest with the Princess of Cups. It's also the Page of Cups, and usually it's a very eager, excited, creative energy. Pages are all very young energies. They can also represent children, and they can also represent emotional immaturity or just naivety. With the Cups, it would be emotional. can be kind of a foolish card, kind of like I'm thinking for some reason of a depiction where the page is looking at a huge fish in the cup. Like something isn't quite right. I'm not sure which depiction that one is. I can see it in my mind. It's like really vibrant deck. Anyways, so Ten of Pentacles in reverse just came out, along with the Magician and the Devil. Wow. And the World. You know, I'm just going to be straight up. It seems like you put an end to a cycle of toxically manifesting, or somebody tried to, like, take something from you and you put an end to it, and this is a new cycle with the World. And got the Prince of Pentacles. You're kind of moving slow because of it, but you're steady. You're still taking steps forward. And that's a lot of earth right here. Because the Devil and the World and also Ten of Pentacles are all very Capricorn cards. And then the Prince of Pentacles, Capricorn, but then we have the Magician here. And Capricorn is the builder, well, Taurus is the builder, but they're the career-focused, very outward successful person, stable, usually very wealthy. But something that didn't bring you success or wealth, that made you feel a little insecure, about how you manifest and what you're capable of, and how toxic illusions have gotten in the way of you closing out certain cycles in your life. And this may cause you to move very slowly, very cautiously. Strength in reverse, so not having a lot of courage, not feeling seen, not feeling very brave. King of Swords in reverse because of some very toxic behaviors as far as the way you think and express yourself, communicate possibly. It could also be that you don't feel very brave about how you can fairly communicate. And the King of Swords reverse can also represent a toxic, mentally harmful person. Maybe the way you used to talk to yourself caused this kind of conflict within. And also with your past unions with the Lovers in reverse. Because the Lovers is like it's a deep soul bond, just like the Six of Cups. But it also represents a choice. So it's like this behavior made it to where you couldn't make a choice. Also, for some of you. Some of you, it's this has affected past relationships, and some of you, it's affected the way you can communicate your will, essentially. Yeah, now we have the Princess of Pentacles. So you're learning how to take slow steps towards manifesting something in your reality. Prince of Cups in reverse. With the Ten of Cups. You have to feel like you can actually offer your cup to someone in order to have it all, and you don't feel that way. You kind of have like a new learning attitude here, but it's like you don't though. You're also on the quest. You're already there with the Prince of Pentacles, and what do you know? The Queen of Pentacles just came out. You're on your way to the Queen of Pentacles, and that could be a person or an aspect of yourself. The Queen of Pentacles is very grounded, as you know. Very stable, very loving, very nurturing. Can be materialistic or just materially secure. And the Hierophant. Oh, we got a lot of earth energy in this reading. I gotta say, we've been doing a lot of fire lately, but this is a whole lot of earth. So, to me, that either means that we have a more earthy audience today. Hello, hello, hello. If you are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and that could be in your top 5 placements. I'm also a professional astrologer, so excuse the plane for a second. I interweave astrology into my readings sometimes. Wheel of Fortune. Wow. So there's some like higher level connection or soul purpose that is waiting for you on this journey, or you are becoming that, either someone or something. A lot of people read the Hierophant as like a higher level commitment, a marriage. It can also represent gatekeepers and spiritual authority figures. And one of the cards just fell on the ground. One moment. The Fool. The Fool tried to run away. What the heck is that about now? The Fool tried to run away from karma or being judged by this higher spiritual authority figure. That's what I just got from that. It could also be that you want a new journey, but you feel like it's not accessible to you, that you lost it, that it ran away from you. It's possible. Two of Wands. You've been trying to manifest this. It's also 2 paths you could take, and you know that. You know you have 2 different directions you could go. Queen of Swords. Using your discernment, communicating well. With the King of Wands. Taking action, being a leader, having passion. Justice. This is your justice. This is your karma. Learning how to do this. Be brave. Communicate well. Express some higher knowledge or wisdom. Again, the Hierophant could be a card of marriage, so it could represent a higher commitment. So it's possible that's something you've been working towards slowly with all the earth energy. But it also seems like you've really been focused heavily on the 3D. And remember, if we focus too much on the material, it can weigh us down. While grounding is great, we also want to remember to have a clear channel from the base to the peak, to spirit, right? And the thing about the Hierophant card and Taurus, the higher spiritual essence of it is connecting to its polar opposite, Scorpio. Okay, and Scorpio is in the higher form, not the scorpion, but the eagle, right? Can also be represented by the phoenix transformation. So it's possible you have been going, the tower you learned here with the tower in reverse, the tower you had led you through this discovery of how you can establish this kind of wealth within yourself. Because again, it's not just about material things, it's about where the mundane meets the mystical, like my tagline for my business says. It's about connecting the 3D with the 5D and being in balance of both with spirit and your physical self and your surroundings, right? King of Cups in reverse. With the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, it seems that maybe you weren't able to focus on the emotions. You were more focused on your independence and your stability, or appearing to have status and stability, and this didn't make you very happy. King of Cups in reverse, that's just... Remember, when we elevate to emperor or empress status, and the ideal, by the way, is not to be one or the other, but to be both, right? The ultimate divine union isn't with another person, it's with ourselves. And when we're in divine union with ourselves, of both the masculine, feminine principles, again, we're not talking gender here, we're talking energies, receptive or active, right? So when you are in balance where you can both receive and take action, then you are in union with yourself. And when you're in union with yourself, you can be in union with spirit. And when you can be in union with spirit, you can co-create with spirit, and you can create your own reality, which is here on the 3D. And that's actually how you manifest. Like, you got the Magician here. You've got some kind of idea about that. I think you just have to shift your focus to balancing out the emotions, the communication, and you'll be successful over here with the Six of Wands. Let me see if I can get any advice here. I might actually pull from my other deck in a moment. Got the Hangman. It says in reverse with the Ten of Wands. Okay, so a perspective change is needed about your burdens. Or you've had a perspective change about your burdens. Also, that can mean having epiphanies, having clarity, coming out of deep meditation or spiritual journey. And Ten of Wands is usually the end of a dark night, a spiritual journey. But as your advice, Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, to come into union with yourself, with spirit, therefore with this ultimate soul love. Yeah, because Four of Wands in reverse. You don't have a stable foundation here yet with your faith. Or, and this is just for some of you, okay? So if some of you don't feel that way, then disregard. Only take what resonates, right? I'm sure you all have heard that as a broken record from other readers, and there's a reason. You're supposed to use your discernment, use your wise judgment, right? So both of these cards, Two of Cups and Four of Wands, usually you'd see that as like the ultimate long-term union with a soulmate, like your person. By the way, I did finally, Spirit pulled a love reading out of me. So if you go back a few readings, or a couple readings, a few clips, whatever you call it, you will find an actual divine counterpart union reading. I clipped out a 30-minute version, and then there's also the long form, which might be over an hour. So yeah, this is oh wow, and as I look at the clock, it's 2:14, which is you know, Valentine's Day, so it is about love. That was just confirmation on my clock. So yeah, focusing on how you can have different perspective about what is yours to carry, what is your burden, and finding balance to create this foundation, whether it's for another person or union with yourself. Ace of Wands, it's for a hot new beginning. And this could be spiritual, this could be love, this could be something that's very appealing and attractive to you. Wands are fire. It's also a big offer from Spirit. And we also have Ace of Pentacles over here. So something is going to assist you, possibly Spirit, depending on your connection with the divine. And when I say Spirit, again, it's Spirit is an energy just like everything else. So whatever your faith is, apply that there. Yeah, stop focusing on the money so much. King of Pentacles in reverse. You're out of balance. You're way out of balance. If you want this new beginning, and you actually you know, they say when you're manifesting right into your reality, you have to let go of it. You have to let it go, and you have to trust that the divine are going to take it through and return it back to you with divine timing. And the more you hold on to something, the more you try to possess something, the more you try to force something, the more towers you're going to have in your life. When you establish balance, yet again, between the physical and the spiritual, the 3D versus the 5D, you can have both. And you can also have divine love or divine union with yourself or someone else. So King of Pentacles in reverse is just like, either you're going through some very financial hardships, and that might be true for some of you, especially with over here the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, but it seems like whatever you're losing or perceiving losing, maybe this is a burden to you with the Ten of Wands. Maybe it's a burden to consider losing this. Maybe you feel like you have to choose between your stability and pursuing this new thing, whether it's love or your spirituality itself. Maybe you feel like you're burnt out from work and it's a huge burden and you don't really have time to be in union with yourself. Which, I mean, with the Nine of Wands over here with the Wounded Warrior, that could be so. But you come out of the really hard times because Nine of Swords is in reverse. The Tower has already fallen. And it's okay to take a minute and rest. Just remember that eventually rest can turn into inaction. You know, there's some people out there that believe that if it's meant for you, it'll always be yours. Which, to some extent, I think that that phrase is misunderstood. And I'm channeling this from spirit here. I'm also a psychic medium. Hi. Anyways, what's meant for you will always be yours. I don't know, what do you think about when I say that? I think to some extent that's true. Apparently Spirit thinks it's self-sabotage, Five of Swords, because sometimes we're too scared, and you do have some bravery to establish within yourself. Yeah, Six of Pentacles in reverse, not being able to receive, give or receive equal give or take, or not having that in your life can cause you to sabotage yourself. And it's possible you haven't really felt very brave about your finances in the past. So like it's easier to not take action and repeat cycles, even though it's not fun, even though like these mental conflicts you have. It can also represent other people trying to mess with your thoughts, manipulate you mentally, keeping you stuck, pinned, which Wheel of Fortune can also represent karma. So it's possible this is part of your karmic lesson that you're learning, is perhaps to trust yourself. Because over here we have the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So you're totally capable of executing your will and also communicating. There's something you know you can do it. It's a choice though. It's a choice. Do we stay in the same cycles? Do we continue old patterns? Do we tell ourselves that what's the point, it's not going to work out? Well, if you do try to manifest, you know that you're manifesting more of that. Whether we like our thoughts or not, the more energy we put towards whatever we're thinking about is what we're going to manifest more of. And I'm somebody who has had to train my mind to perceive life differently. I'm also a Pisces sun sign, so the cards in the tarot that represent Pisces is not only the High Priestess and the Moon, but also the Hanged Man, okay? And that's all about going inward and going to higher spirituality and having different perspectives and being able to see with a higher perspective. But you have to, again, we're talking about that balance between the divine. And it's okay if you feel like you identify with one or the other. Maybe that's will point out to you where the imbalance is, the other one that you're not comfortable with, right? Like I personally, and I'll share a little bit about myself, I personally learned how to establish my divine feminine side in the last couple of years, which is strange because I'm a woman and I do identify as a woman, but it's strange because you would think that I would have been in my divine feminine my whole life. Well, it turns out I was in my divine masculine my whole life because I was always acting and always taking care of myself and others. And my lesson was to learn how to receive. And that was incredibly uncomfortable, let me tell you. You'd think it'd be so easy to sit back and receive. It's really not. So like whatever you're feeling here, whether it's your more receptive or active sides to make you more uncomfortable, just take like little steps towards like the Princess of Pentacles down here and the Prince of Pentacles. You know, take these small steps. It's also you have the Queen of Pentacles, right? You know, what occurs to me is these could also be people in your life. Maybe there are some very materialistic people in your life. Some of them less mature, some of them around your age, and some of them are elders that you look up to that have been an example of this materialism. Possibly it's something you learned in childhood that you try to sustain in your younger adulthood, and if you're a little older than younger adulthood, then possibly something you're still carrying on, which means it could be a family karmic cycle, again with the Wheel of Fortune here. It could be something you learned from childhood, which, I mean, childhood behaviors are very difficult to break. I'm going to pull some cosmic energy oracles on top of this. I work with this deck a lot too. Friendship. Cherish friendships. They are the harbors for your soul. Determination. Face challenges with determination. You can achieve anything. And meditation in reverse, but I don't typically read oracle cards in reverse. Meditation connects you to your inner self. Maybe meditate on how your friendships have determined your future. Maybe think about what kind of people you've had around you and how that's influenced your choices. And if you're somebody who struggles with how you present and your status in life and how you, your reputation, ask yourself if those things actually make you feel valuable or valued, or if it's just maybe superficial people around you that value those things or pretend to value those things. Oh, hello card. Joy. Focus on the joy. Sorry, card just fell. Joy is the dance of the soul. Enjoy every moment. Think about how your friendships bring you joy, and if they don't bring you joy, then maybe you should reevaluate your friendships. Let's see what else we have here. Universal wisdom, I'd say. The universe is full of wisdom. Seek its guidance. You can do this through meditation. Or maybe seek out friends who seem to have access. Maybe focus more on spiritual friendships right now if you need to balance out the material in order to be on this journey to this. And this is a new huge opportunity from Spirit with the Ace of Pentacles, remember? And you also have the Ace of Wands. So you have a lot of inspiration and passion for this new beginning. And it could be about your spirituality. Gratitude. Be grateful for every moment. Keep a heart of gratitude. Yeah, I talk about that a lot. Gratitude breeds gratitude. And awareness. Maintain awareness. Be present in every moment. So pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to your friendships. Pay attention to what gives you joy. Also, if you are looking to be more spiritual, associate with more spiritual people instead of less materialistic people. Meditate on that and express your gratitude, you know, and I just released, and it's a little intense, so it's not for everybody. I just released an audio documentary called Wilderness Meets the Woo Woo in the Sierra Nevadas, and I go in to talk about how gratitude breeds gratitude, and how every morning I wake up and I try to think of everything I am grateful for. And if you do practice the law of attraction or manifestation, or you use folk practices to acquire things in the material world, again, blending spiritual with the physical, you know that whatever energy you want to attract more of, you have to practice. So even if it seems strange or uncomfortable, or maybe you even have some friends that aren't very aware, that are in your circle, who don't understand your determination and how it makes you happy, who don't know how to tap in and meditate, but you know what? That's their journey. Again, if you're, you know, it's possible your friendships kind of mirror your family upbringing. Peace. Find inner peace in moments of stillness. Indeed. I think that's what we're going to stop there with the cosmic. I'm going to pull from my Herbcrafters Tarot. And with this deck, the Hayas are pages, the Adelitas are knights, the Madres are queens, and the Curanderas are kings. They also, excuse me, each have their own plant association with the card. And if I feel called to, I'll mention the plant as well if it seems significant. Alright, so you've got a pretty good idea here, it seems, that you've been really focused on money. And again, with your thoughts, creating more. If you're creating more things to be grateful for, you're creating more things to be grateful for. So instead of focusing on such a lack mindset, like I don't have this, or I can't be this, or what if I do that and that's wrong, you know, like the King of Swords in reverse, that can be very self-sabotaging in its absolute worst, to where you can't move forward in life. And some people genuinely struggle with, you know, an actual anxiety disorders, not a medical or mental health professional, but I'm an advocate and a spiritual guide, so I just want to throw that disclaimer out. But some people really do struggle with obsessive thoughts or intrusive thoughts. So like, it's also hard for some people to trust their intuition. And again, meditation will help you hone that in, right? And also communing with people who are more spiritual, who are on the path, can maybe enlighten you, again with the Hangman in reverse, help you change your perspectives about how you see money, how you see lack, how you have learned certain patterns that keep you stuck and make you sabotage yourself. And it seems to really stem from the mind, which creates the problems and the disconnect. So like cognitive dissonance possibly, which is the separation from thought to thought. It's when you can't connect with your emotions because your thoughts dominate what you feel. That was for somebody. One moment. Drinking some of my tea from my shop. This one is actually my Beltane blend. Anyways, I own an apothecary. I make tea and stuff. Handcrafted, small batch. You can check out my IG for like some of my old posts. Wow. Yeah, so doing all this, you're going to skip over that King of Pentacles and graduate straight to the Empress. And mind you, yes, there are kings that are above queens, but darlings, the Empress is above all kings and all queens. She is the master of all queens. She is 4 queens, so she outrules this King of Pentacles. So Spirit just confirmed that if you want ease, you want grace, you want to create your own reality, you want to be comfortable, you want to kind of experience more the divine feminine way of manifesting truly. Because remember that sitting back and doing nothing is not divine feminine, it's divine neutral. We all have neutral energies in us too, and I know we all like to split things black or white, and there is an intention behind that, there is a purpose, but there is also a void state. And it seems like you've had a lot of void states that have kept you stuck in your life. And again, if you need to go talk to somebody about it, there is no shame in that, and it can help you sort out your light. Your light. That's interesting. Your life. I did not intend to say that. Your light. Sort out your light. Yeah, because this is a lot of darkness. This could be part of the burden you're carrying, is this preconceived notion of what makes someone successful. It seems like you're very stuck in your masculine, but you really want to receive. You really want to create beautiful things with the Empress card. I think that's the only card that wanted to be pulled from this deck. And the rose is what is represented here for the Empress. I actually have one of my IG posts, I want to say from February or March, we have this card, the Empress. I like to take a picture of some of the cards and use it as the pin for the video. Also, for those of you that are interested, I've started sharing more in the community tab. So, you know, the community portion of our community here. So I'll drop the images there if you all would like to. And if anybody has any advice, if you're not this person struggling, but you know somebody in your life who might be going through this, you know, if there's anything you could say to that person, you know, constructive criticism here. Don't be mean, okay? I don't accept bullying or anything like that. I don't tolerate that, so don't be rude. But if you can think of something to help this part of the community, maybe something you've learned on your adventure in life, whether it's your spiritual path or how you felt stable in life, how you were able to manifest better, how you were able to release and let go in order to receive. Because it's, you know, again, sitting back in the quote unquote feminine energy and not doing anything, that doesn't mean you're receiving either. Remember that. Also, doing a bunch of random tasks that don't really connect, that are really a waste of your time. So like you see that a lot with hustle culture. That doesn't mean you're being in your masculine. It just means you're wearing yourself out and exerting a whole lot of energy. So you need to like focus in. And you can do that by working on your thoughts, right? Working on the mind, balancing the way you think about life and how you're actually able to receive. And then you'll know how you can give, because remember, we had the Six of Pentacles in reverse and you didn't really feel like you could have equal give and take. And you know, if you're trying to strive to be this like go-getter energy and all you want to do is receive, you're not really being true to yourself. And that doesn't mean give up and do nothing yet again. But if you keep trying to be something that you don't feel comfortable is the energy that you're supposed to exude right now, you could sabotage yourself, like the Five of Swords here. And then the cycle continues, because again, the Wheel of Fortune is also about karmic lessons. And you could look at it that way, or you could look at it as this is a huge change of fate. That this journey you're on, it's possible you learned all of this with your tower moment. And you got through the tower. And as long as you learn the lessons and you apply them to your life, you're not going to have that tower again, right? So if you're reliving these things, I mean, we've got the Nine of Swords in reverse, and we do have the Wounded Warrior here with the, you know, the Nine of Wands. I think it's really about how you work with your thoughts and how you perceive life and how your family of origin has taught you to deal with your security, or not taught you. And wow, okay, I pulled another card and I just got chills, and it's the Four of Wands card, or Four of Fire, represented by Elder, and then the Haya of Air, represented by Catnip, so that's Page of Swords. You're kind of watching and learning and studying how to build this foundation going forward. And again, that's about studying. It's about learning how to build a proper foundation. And again, if this is towards another person, we just went from reverse into upright. So congratulations, you just transmuted some energy in this reading. Good job. You're learning. That's good. Huh. Justice in reverse, represented by Cannabis. And the Lovers upright, represented by Hawthorne. Interesting. So we had Justice, I believe, upright. Let me just go through my massive pile of cards here. One moment. I feel like it was here. Where are you? Well, we did have the Lovers in reverse here, that's for sure. I can't seem to find the Justice. That's significant. Maybe you don't feel like you've received your justice, or you don't feel like you can give somebody what they deserve with the Lovers card here, but it is upright. And interesting that it's Hawthorne, because in our Beltane reading, which I believe also happened to be part of that Divine Union reading, I have a separate video that I clipped from the beginning, which is the oracle reading on the Hawthorne card from the Herbcrafters Field Guide. I think, no, excuse me, it's the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. That's right. So if you're interested in learning more about the folklore of Hawthorne, definitely check that out. Again, I'll put the playlist at the end of this video. Might be relevant to you. And since we did just pass Beltane, it is a very relevant plant right now for the season, if you are catching this in real time. Or maybe this is part of your justice. This is part of something that you are learning to do in order to become the choice, really. I think that's what this has to do with. You want to feel like you are worthy enough for a divine love. Whether, again, that's with yourself, with spirit, with another person. I am picking up very strongly that this is about what you can offer on a new, passionate beginning. Yeah, I just pulled the Nine of Air, represented by pomegranate, so that's Nine of Swords. Now it's upright again. Interesting, because it's like a new cycle has just begun for you. And this is not a good one. It seems like you are starting to loop again. Pay attention to your thoughts. When you start to loop, ask yourself, how does the feeling feel? How does the thought present? Does it keep coming over and over and over again? Because that's an intrusive, obsessive thought. That's a pattern. You can stop and say, this is a pattern, and focus on your breathing. Maybe meditate, right? Regulate your nervous system. I give some tips in some of my other videos about this, how you can do that. Because it seems like the moment you start to think about it, it's like you just go back on a loop. Now your intuition, it's going to be very quiet. It's going to come in once, and it's going to come in softly, and you're probably going to feel it in your gut or your heart space, so your solar plexus chakra, which is above your belly button, or your heart, you know, in your chest. You're going to feel that. We were going to settle down. For those of you that got what you wanted from this reading, I appreciate you hanging in there. Please give this a like. Check out my other collective readings through my Divine With Me playlist. I think the rest of this reading is going to be for a smaller amount, and it's okay if you check out, I don't know how long this has been going on, this video. So thank you. Please give the video a like or drop a comment. You know, you can just leave like a little star emoji if you liked it. So that helps the algorithm pick up on my work so I can share it with more people. And Spirit really wants to talk because my voice is speeding up here. All right. So this is for somebody specific or a few people in the community. All right, let's carry on here. If you do want to hang in, I will probably do a reading on one of Cran's archetypes cards. So Nine of Wands and Temperance, yeah. Yeah, this is about balancing out, being patient with yourself, with your wounds, remembering that you have been through a lot, and that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't make you a less valuable person because you've been through a lot. You know that, right? Like, everybody deserves love. Well, from a higher perspective, yes. Some would argue with that. That's the people that are not good people don't deserve love. And it's possible you've convinced yourself that if you don't present this certain way, that you're not worthy of love. Which, I mean, if you're around materialistic people, then of course you're going to feel like that. And that's toxic, by the way. In case you didn't know that. That's toxic. Because you can have both. Again, it's like, if you want to master manifesting, you have to weave in the physical with the spiritual. If you don't work with spirit, that's no big deal. I mean, you can just leave it to the universe to align. You get what I'm saying? Wow, there are 4 red hawks flying over the ridge on my land right now. They've been coming in closer lately. It's really cool. Anyways, yeah, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Like you feel like you can't offer anything here, or that you don't have certain opportunities. That's part of your wounds. Look at that. Like look at Four of Swords in reverse. Whoa, that's way too many cards, Spirit. Nope. Yeah, definitely this is about not thinking on it too long, not taking too long, not resting too long. That, again, there's time to heal, and there's time to recover, and there's times to collect your thoughts, and then there's time to act. Again, just because you are busy doesn't mean that you're actually taking action towards your dreams or goals. It just means you're busy. And sometimes we distract ourselves from connections by being fake busy, and that's fine. I mean, you do you. If you want to fill up all your time, really ask yourself if all those things are giving your life value. Because again, with temperance, that's about balance, and that's also about having one foot in the intuition and one foot with the land, right? Yeah, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. You do not feel like you can. Wow, the Sun in reverse. Darling, take a deep breath. Just took one with you. Two of Earth. So Two of Pentacles. You're juggling something too much. You're juggling what makes you happy too much. And maybe you don't know what makes you happy. You want to tell somebody about it though, because we got the Eight of Wands here. If you would like an audio recording of a tarot or oracle reading, I can do that. You don't have to book with me. You can just email me and let me know what you want. However, if you want to see my prices, which I'm going to be upgrading here pretty soon on my booking site, you can go to my services tab. I offer all kinds of things. And right now I think I have a market tarot reading for like 30 bucks, and that's like a quick read. So I can give you an audio recording, or we can do a quick one on my business line. So just let me know what you want. I'm taking clients in June, and if you're catching this later, just just reach out or try to book, and I'll get you taken care of. Same for astrology. I've been studying for over 25 years independently. I do evolutionary, natal, and electional right now, but I focus more on natal. So I felt like somebody could use a private reading, because this is starting to feel like one. So I'm not gonna get into this too deeply. But yeah, Eight of Wands is about something moving really, really fast. Maybe you feel like you have to do something, you have to communicate something really fast, but you can't figure out what it is, and that's making you not feel happy and not making you feel secure. Mother of Cups in reverse, and actually want to just shut down on love completely. Seems that you don't want to open your heart to love now. Hermit in reverse, but Spirit's telling you to get out of your cave, get out of your own way, get out of your head. Yeah, 10 of Swords. And this one has a big old scythe that's hanging over an alfalfa depiction, and the artwork on these cards are absolutely beautiful, by the way. So yeah, it's about like an ending. It's about ending this this cycle. Yeah, and these burdens that you're putting on yourself with the Ten of Wands again. With Death, yeah, this is about a change. the Wheel of Fortune. It's a karmic change. Now we have the Wheel of Fortune twice out here. Same with the Ten of Wands. So this is really about learning what is your burden to carry and what is not. And Two of Swords, or Two of Air. So trusting your intuition, right? Being able to make a choice. The Moon. Using your intuition. It seems like you've used your intuition in the past, and I did read that as a like you've come out of it, like you're ready to reveal something. You have the capability of great love and understanding and empathy here. Yeah, and you can go to calmer pastures, or excuse me, calmer waters. You're on this like transition to peace with the Six of Air, Six of Swords, right? You're figuring out how to do it. Maybe set some intentions. This particular depiction, which I might show in the pinned image, it's a table, and it's got cattail as the herb, and there looks like many drafts of a letter. So maybe you need to write something down, write an intention. If you don't know how to write an intention, drop a comment, I'll give you a tip, or you can YouTube it. It's pretty much just like stating what you want, right? It could also be about communicating something to somebody because of the Eight of Wands. And then we got the Seven of Earth in reverse, so investing. Maybe you could also journal about what are things that you no longer want to invest in, and maybe that'll help you stop juggling things so hard and be able to make a choice, right? Or where you need to stop investing in for happiness. And then we just pulled the Hierophant card again. And this is about some kind of higher commitment for you. And again, if it's not with a person, it could be with your faith, it could be with spirit, it could be with different aspects of yourself, or how you fit in with society. Because again, Hierophants can also represent like authority figures, right? Not quite like the Emperor, which is the ultimate authority of your own domain, but like a spiritual authority in a way. Three of Pentacles in reverse again. Seems like you still don't want to collaborate though, to build something. But now Strength is upright, so we just pulled Strength card again. And the King of Wands again. So you've got the fire, you got the passion, and you got the light, right? We mentioned the light earlier. You're totally capable of making this change. You just got to stop holding on so tight with the Four of Pentacles. You know, you gotta stop being so possessive of things, because again, if you want to truly manifest something, you have to let it go and trust that your manifestations are going to work. And part of that has to do with getting out of your head, right? Being able to balance your thoughts, which help you balance your emotions, tap into what makes you feel unconditional love, what makes you feel creative. Yeah, and what ways can you love yourself? Because now we got the Ace of Cups in reverse. And this is about either like a big love offer or spirit offering like a person to you that's going to be great love, or it's self-love, or it's a huge creative endeavor that's like a big deal. It's a blessing. But if you can't even tap into that because you don't feel like you can give equal give and take with the Six of Pentacles again, then it has to do with yourself, with how you give to yourself, really. Like, do you give yourself equal give and take? Because if you don't have balance and you don't have a set way of showing love to yourself, then no, you can't give to other people. And if you think, and I don't mean to be rude, but I did try to say I'm direct, if you don't know how to give to yourself, how are you going to give to others? And I'm sure you've heard that, and it pisses you off to hear it even. I'm picking up on that energy. Then it's good. Then let it get under your skin. But instead of fighting it, or making a choice to stay in these cycles and not face these mental conflicts, you will continue the cycle. Yeah, and stay stuck in your head with the Eight of Swords. You don't have to live that way. Ten of Cups in reverse. You don't feel like you deserve happiness. I think that's what it comes down to is I feel like you've attached your worth to the material too much. Yeah, this has caused you to walk away from people and love in the past. Eight of Cups. You know, and it's possible somebody you loved from your childhood. We remember earlier we had the Six of Cups as one of the first cards coming out, and that is childhood love. It's possible that, yeah, you need to heal from that with the Star. You need to shine light on how possibly you may have attached your worth to material things in the past, possibly having to do with another person. Again, we talk about not being so possessive. That also means letting go of old memories and wounds and choosing to heal with the Star card. And then we pull the Adelita of Water, which is the Knight of Cups. So earlier we had the Knight of Cups in reverse. So that's progress. You just transmuted that. Maybe you feel like maybe now you're starting to understand it. I would rewatch this reading, and I'm not just saying that to get more likes or hits, but if you need to rewatch this reading, re-listen, whatever, and maybe you'll catch something the second time around. I do that. I listen to my own readings because when I'm channeling, it's like I'm here but I'm not. You know what I mean? Other readers will explain that. Yeah, okay, so Three of Wands just came out now. So you're waiting for your ships to come in. Stop waiting. They're coming. If you've set some intentions and you remember, if you continue day in and day out to keep like trying to work something to death, you're going to continue doing that. Again, whatever you do today is what you're going to be doing more of tomorrow. If you continue to exist in this hustle culture, so to speak, where you're constantly chasing after money or work because of some sense of security you feel like you need in order to love, even yourself, based on possible childhood, your friend circles, your disconnect with the spiritual, if you're able to integrate all this stuff, you can access that. You have the ability to manifest here. Also, remember, we had the Magician earlier, right? So, and bottom of the this is personal wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So that's hidden. This is wish fulfillment. And tell me a little bit more about these wishes, Spirit. Wow, the Chariot. You want to move really fast towards something. I'm not going to take that one. You want to move really fast towards something. You want to bring your whole life. Three of Cups in reverse. But you don't feel like celebrating. Or you've put an end to other people being involved in your emotional decisions. Yeah, Seven of Cups. You've been really stuck in all these options and choices, and but the thing is you also have a lot of things to work with here. And again, cups are water, so it's like, what ingredients do you want to focus on that are going to create love, right? Yeah, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Now that's interesting because we had the Queen of Pentacles upright earlier. And again, remember, all this leads to the Empress. If you're able to balance your divine, masculine, and feminine energies, right? And not get stuck in neutral position. Huh. Okay, so it's possible you had a Tower moment because of a Queen of Pentacles type person. Because next to this Queen of Pentacles in reverse with the Tower in reverse, you got a second Tower here. Tell me more about this, Spirit. High of Earth, so that's Page of Pentacles. Again, that slow moving learning energy about how to work on something new. Maybe you felt like you had to start over with your security because of whatever this person or situation was. Yeah, Six of Wands in reverse. Something did not make you feel very victorious. I don't want to go into this energy too much because honestly it feels toxic. It does feel like a person. It feels like a very materialistic person who didn't value you or themselves, quite frankly. Yeah, because I just got the Queen of Swords in reverse. Also a very vindictive, mentally unkind person who possibly manipulated you a lot. Yeah, and now we have the fourth ace on here. We have the Ace of Swords, but it's in reverse. So they made you not understand your own truth. It's possible they gaslit you, especially with the intellectual connection with the heirs. And Hangman, this is a new perspective. And it came out upright, but as I put it on the table, it flipped upside down. So you just had a new epiphany about somebody in your life. And maybe how they made you think about your worth. And maybe how they may have messed with your head and made you value the wrong things. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, made you not want to work on things. Maybe they made you feel like you couldn't work on things, like you couldn't be successful. This could be a parent figure for some. Maybe they made you very codependent on them and attached your worth to things you could do for them in order to make them happy. And that gave you a distorted sense of how you can make others happy. And if you're always constantly trying to strive towards making other people happy through your security, um, yeah, be careful with that because despite your intentions, you could have a tendency of trying to buy other people's love, and that's not for everybody. And please don't get mad at me again. I'm very direct. Yeah, the awakening, judgment in reverse. You feel judged. I get it. I get it. I do. I hear you. You think I don't hear things? Yeah, the Fool in reverse. You do not want to go down this road. So I'm going to respect that, and I'm not going to dive any deeper to that, but I think you have plenty to think about. And I think you're coming out of an awakening. You're coming out of a spiritual journey. You're learning a lot of things. And it's about integrating, again, the spiritual with the physical. It's about balancing the masculine with the feminine. And it's about, continuing to figure out what makes you happy, how possibly your childhood wounds have affected your ability to earn in your mind and be successful in this world. Maybe, and the intentions right, how you want to be successful. What does success mean to you? And wow, I just pulled the Emperor card. So like it really is about claiming your own authority for real. Because the Hierophant and the Emperor, we were talking about earlier, how the Emperor is like, you're in control of your own domain. You also delegate to other people. The emperors aren't running around in hustle culture. No, they leave that for the knights. So if you want to assume this emperor status and also be in the energy of the empress, which yet again, divine union with self, divine union with masculine and feminine energies, then you have to be willing to work with others. And again, we got Three of Pentacles in reverse twice in this reading, so that tells me that don't really want to work with others. You just want to focus on yourself, and you want to figure out how to establish. Maybe this awakening you've had has, whoa, 5 cards just came out. We're not going to take those. Maybe this awakening has helped you figure out how you feel like you have authority in your own life. Adelita of Fire, Knight of Wands. Passionately going towards something very quickly. Haya of Waters, so Page of Cups in reverse. But be careful with your emotions. Again, be careful about going very quickly towards something. Again, if you want to be the Emperor, which is also fire, Aries energy, which is above a Knight of Wands, you need to learn how to delegate with others. So not putting everything on your plate to where you feel depleted because you're chasing material things. again, that could have to do with who you associate with and your social circle. Maybe the kind of work you pursue. Maybe there's something else that fills your cup. This could also be about your sense of creativity and joy, again, with the Empress correspondences. So it's possible whatever work you've been doing has been for others, not yourself. And it's depleted you. And it's been a hard journey. And I just want to say, I acknowledge your hard work. I know that it's hard to receive criticism and it's hard to look at the shadow. But you know, that's why we go to the tarot, isn't it? To go inward. And again, we got the moon here and we had the moon in reverse to start out and then the moon upright. So this has given you some intuitive hits. This has given you something to seek in the dark. Just remember to not get lost in the dark. And again, that comes down to understanding your thoughts. This is a lot. This is a lot for you to process. I think I'm going to leave that there. If you would like to hang in for the archetypes oracle card, which I still feel called to pull. Actually, hold on a sec. I'm being drawn to the timing cards, and you know, I don't work with these a lot because a lot of people use timing cards for like romance and stuff, and it's possible this could have to do with romance. Let me see, what question should we ask Spirit about timing? I'm feeling drawn to it though. Okay, how about this? How about if you're able to balance all these factors and really do the work and focus on and establish this within yourself, when will things start picking up for you in a more positive way where you feel confident and secure enough within yourself to move forward towards true love or union with yourself or spirit or another, or some creative project that really makes you happy? And feeling mentally balanced with the ability to express your emotions, remember? Within a year, it says. Within a year. I'm feeling some stress about that for some reason, because you know the Knight of Wands came out, so it's like maybe you want to take action now. Maybe you want to take action now. You don't want to wait. I mean, the Chariot card did come out. So, in November, okay, so they just gave you a second timeline. Remember, timelines are flexible. Timelines, time is happening all at once in all realities. I do work with multiple timelines. And also remember that if you attach to something, you try to like hold on to something too tightly, you're not going to have as much success manifesting it into your life, or it might not manifest how you want it to. So this is May. That's about 6 months. So it could take 6 months to a year to fully integrate these changes. And again, if you're not watching this in May, or you're not, whatever time, it's within 6 months to a year, you can have this. And you might go, well, that's a long time. And sure, just remember not to put too much work on your plate to where you're feeling overwhelmed and defeated and you don't want to do the work anymore, because then you don't have anything to offer other people if you are burnt out all the time. It has to do with your value and worth, yet again. And, you know, I don't know how old everybody is, but I can tell you that the older you get, the quicker time seems to go by, right? When you're a kid and you're in school, it's like the longest ever. Every day is torturous, and it just goes on. And, oh, when do I just get to go home and just do my own thing? And then when you're like middle-aged, you're like, wow, it's Tuesday already? What the heck? It was just like Monday last week. How did it suddenly be like 8 days? You know what I mean? And it's because we tend to overload our schedules, especially in American culture. If you're watching from there, listening, whatever. Yeah, hey, you know, if you're still hanging in there, drop in the comments where you're from. I'd love to know where you're from. And again, hit the like or subscribe. Anyways, yeah, so like 6 months to a year is really not that long. Now, if you are trying to work on a particular goal for a person, because we did get a lot of like union references and soulmate love references, what I would suggest, if you want to hear my advice, if you don't, then just disregard it and we'll skip to the oracle in a second. Um, there's a lot of emphasis here on balancing your thoughts in order to understand your emotions. So if you're doing, I would make that your first priority. And again, journaling can help. We got a lot of writing influence here. In order to head towards peace, you need to understand your thoughts, I think. And if you are able and willing to access therapy, I would suggest cognitive behavioral therapy for this. If you're looking to work on behavior, focus on DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and that can be done in groups. That can also teach you how to work with others. Now, if you're in the States, most counties have these programs for free. Sometimes they even have day programs. Again, I'm an advocate, so I'm going to share information. If you don't want to utilize therapy, that's fine. Look into mindfulness, work on your meditation, find some good self-help books. Let me see. I'm reading, I took a break from it, but The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest, however you say her name. That's a really good one about self-sabotage. I would definitely recommend that book. Okay? So if you really dedicate yourself to slowing down and paying attention to these things, you can actually speed up your progress. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it will eventually with another tower moment. Sorry, that was kind of mean. That was meant for somebody, but it's true. Like if you don't work on the self-sabotaging behavior, and again, some people really struggle with this, but the universe will arrange things to make you focus on things if you refuse, and you can go back to your old habit and you can decide to stay in these cycles. But if you really want to be your own authority, both spiritually and materialistically, if you want to be an integrated whole person and you ultimately do want to give your cup to something, whether that's another person or the vision of your life, whatever is your Ten of Cups, because remember, we did pull the Ten of Cups earlier. You have the potential for having everything here. And you got to be willing to do the work. And again, it's like we go back to the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and we won't dive into that energy of that person, whoever that Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords in reverse character is. I don't usually read signs, but that could represent, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And again, it's usually the top 5 personal planets that you want to look at in your chart, and each different planet represents a different expression of energy, so it's going to represent differently. It's good to not just look at your sun sign, but also your rising sign, your moon sign, your Mercury, your Venus, and your Mars, okay? And if you want to understand all that, I'd be happy to give you a reading. I do more of my astrology readings on the phone versus audio because they're more interactive than a tarot reading. And eventually I will be doing videos, but I'm just like working with the tech I have right now, so bear with me, okay? Okay, so we pulled the Flame card. It's interesting because we got this card, actually it was last month for the April Astro highlights. Yeah, this was the collective energy for the April reading. And I did a separate clip of just the Oracle reading on the flames. So check that out in the playlist. It should be in my Divine With Me. I think maybe going back over the message for April might help you. Yeah, because this is, so it's there's a lot of emphasis on the root sacral solar chakras. So grounding, sense of security, your confidence, really, again, looking at those earthly things. But it's very dense energy. And again, this plane of existence is very dense. And it can weigh you down. In the background, it's just like these speckled dots and shadows, and it's grainy. It's almost got like this vintage energy, kind of like static almost. There's a lot of static in the background for you right now. And remember, you are the flame. You are the passion. You are the hot new beginning. You are very confident also. You got the King of Wands twice. So, like, you've worked on your confidence. So it's not that you're insecure about who you are. It's more about, I think, how you earn and how you show up in the world and how you want to provide for others. So find out what inspires you. And again, look at this reading. This reading from April, you know, perhaps I'll link it at the end or leave it in the description box or pin it. I'm not sure. I might not though. So yeah, just check out the playlist. I feel like this reading has been really long, as they usually are, because this is a tarot quest. I'm not going to link this to any of my prior readings except possibly, I'd say, the Divine Union. Actually, that's what I'm going to put at the end of this video. So I feel like for some of you, this is about love. And this is about finding your sense of security and being able to offer your cup of love to somebody. And it's also about who you associate with, how those people mirror people from your childhood, and really figuring out what makes you feel valuable and what your values are. Another thing in astrology to look at is your second house. Okay, so your second house is the house of values. Another thing to look at is where your Taurus placements are, right? Because Taurus also rules the second house and values. So it's possible there is a Taurus placement in your chart that can help you understand more how you deal with the material world, how you build sustainability, and possibly where some of your wounds are, because we have the wounded warrior here twice, I believe. I think that is a good place to leave it. If I go on much longer, this will be a whole movie. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for checking in. Again, if you'd like to check out my super intense audio documentary that I dropped, it's a true life story, and if you don't want to hear about it, that's fine. Thank you very much. Catch you next time. But I've been through some profound transformations myself, and I've had to be brave, and I've had to stabilize my thoughts and figure out what makes me happy, and I had to let go of a lack mindset in order to be in the energy of abundance, right? So I've done all the work that I'm asking you to do. This is not something that I'm judging you with, because you're not being judged at all. If you feel judged, it's possible that you are either picking up on the projections of other people, or you're reliving childhood memories of where you felt judged. And again, cognitive behavioral therapy is really great at going through the past with a medical professional who can help validate your experience, and it can maybe help you understand how these dynamics and family systems can affect you as an adult and how to work with them. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful week. I'd say, since this is a week reading, again, you can extend this past a week. You can, I mean, the timeline here was 6 months to a year, or by November, whatever time you're watching this, whether it's May or another month, it could be by November, so it could be shorter than 6 months if you're, say, watching this in September or something. If you found any signs or synchronicities in this reading, feel free to drop them in the comments. 10 could be relevant, or 110, or 11, or just 10, or 1, or 0, 2 as well. There's some synchronistic numbers for you based on the flame cards, Roman numerals. Alright? Alright, everyone. Have a great week, great 6 months to a year, and if you feel like coming back and explaining more about your story, and you don't have to explain, but if you want to share more of your story, I would love to read it in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are awesome. And as one last note, thank you so much for being patient with me this week on getting the reading out because of my migraine. I do feel much better today, like no pain, and I'm just like so happy to simply just not be in pain today. That's what I'm most grateful for today. Simple things, right? Simple things, because I love showing up for y'all. Oh, yeah, if you made it and you feel like giving me a little tip or buying me a coffee, I've got links for that in the description box as well. Cool. I really appreciate it. Alright, guys. Bye.